Hey everyone, I am Robin the Copy Bitch. This is Stewie, my sidekick sloth, and today we are going to talk about we miss you subject lines for emails. I'm going to share some examples. We're going to talk about them together. So right now I'm going to throw it over to myself on Zoom so you can see my screen. Hey everyone, hopefully you can see my screen. Okay, today we are going to talk about we miss you email subject lines. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Okay, first let's take a step back. When would you want to send these we miss you emails? What would motivate you to do that? So if you're doing a lot of email marketing for clients, whether it's a small business or maybe you're just handling your own internal newsletter, something that you need to keep your eye on is the audience's interaction with your content. So you have this email list of addresses of people who've subscribed. And some people are going to always open your email and read your content and click through. Other people might occasionally. And then you'll have people who just never seem to open your emails, or they drop off. Like maybe they started off all hot and bothered with your stuff and they opened all the time. But then after, 3 months or 6 months or a year, they just don't open. So it's always a good practice to try to re-engage people who have gone quiet on your list. And then if they continue to just not open your emails, to then remove them from your list. Because if you have a huge bloated list of people who just aren't interacting with your content, they're not opening, they're not clicking through, it's something that it's called gray mail, and it can affect how well you're able to send emails, and it can affect your authority as an email sender when you're sending stuff through MailChimp and Constant Contact and things like that. I will include a link to gray mail in the description because that's not what this video is about, and you can read more about that. But it just is a good practice to conduct what we call list hygiene. So you want a clean list. You want a list of active subscribers and engaged subscribers. And I always tell my clients, I would much rather have a list of 1,000 people who are psyched to get my emails and the majority of them open it, rather than a list of 10,000 people where the majority of them just don't. It's a vanity metric. Like you might get more excited to think I have 10,000 subscribers, but if most of them don't engage with your content, who cares, right? I'd much rather have a smaller list of people who are really excited to be there, because you're just going to have a better sense of your conversion numbers, of your open rates. And of course, open rate is actually something that is problematic and has become more problematic. I'll include a link to that issue in the description below, because that's not what this video is about, but something to be aware of. So again, you want to occasionally send these we miss you emails to people who haven't been really active with your content, just to see if they want to stay on the list. And here's the thing, if you give them the option to, like, let's say you send this we thank you or we miss you email and they still don't interact, remove them from the list. And I know that can be painful because you're like, oh, but they might at some point re-engage. Well, it's possible, but you'd much rather have that cleaner list. And if someone really wants to get back on the list, they can always resubscribe. Let's actually talk about what the point of this video is about, which is looking at some examples of we miss you emails and seeing what we think of them. I've captured 5 here. One of them is mine, and I didn't capture them because I think they're great or they're not great or anything like that. I just captured them because I knew I'd be doing a video about this, and I put them in a folder so that we can look at them together. So the we miss you subject lines, this is where your subject line does a ton of the heavy lifting. Like, it has to be super clear that this is what the email is all about. It's about like, hey, knocking on your door saying, you haven't been opening our emails. Do you still want to be on? So it has to be clear that this is what it is, but at the same time, it has to be clever and catchy to catch the reader's attention. So let's see which ones we think do a good job of that. And you might agree with my assessment, you might disagree, and that's okay. That's the thing about email subject lines. You have to experiment, A/B test. If you're doing a lot of email marketing, you'll be doing that. A lot of that functionality is built into various email products like HubSpot and MailChimp and Constant Contact, etc. So you know, and you never know what's going to work. You might think you come up with an email subject line, you're like, this is so going to work, and then there might be one that you think, but yet you test them and you realize the opposite is true. So you just never know. Anyway, let's talk about this. So this is the most recent one I got, and I hope you can see my screen. So Trash Can Willies. This is a a junk removal service that I used like not even a year ago, probably 6 months ago when I was moving. And I don't think I subscribed to anything. Maybe I did, maybe just by, you know, signing up for their service, put me on their list. But I actually thought that this was smart because it was probably 6 months ago when this happened. So checking in every 6 months with an offer. And I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a we miss you email because I haven't been getting regular emails from them, but this is a great way to re-engage with a list, especially for a service like this where, you know, every 6 months, especially springtime, fall, this is like a good time to send out these emails because people are doing their spring cleaning, or they're, you know, in the fall, they'll be doing their fall cleaning, or people always have junk they want to get rid of. So, you know, this is actually a good way to re-engage. They have a discount. It's very simple. Like some would say, well, the subject line is really long, and it is. And like there are all these stats about, you know, it should be under a certain number of characters, et cetera. But this got my attention. Like I was like, oh yeah, this is interesting. And I was thinking, I was like, do I have anything I can get rid of? Blah blah blah. And we can click in if we want to actually look at this. Let's see if I can zoom in here so we can see it better. Hopefully I won't be making it too big, but let's see. It's very, very simple. It's been a while since your last appointment. We'd love to help out again. Feel free to go online. They have a Facebook page. So, you know, very, very simple. A text-based email. Okay. I looked at it. I opened it. Again, this could be something as simple as this to re-engage. This is really good, I think, for professional services. So any professional service, like whether it's a hair salon or an acupuncturist or chiropractor or a nail salon or a junk removal service, like you get the idea. Lawn care, you know, this would be a good time of year, and so would the fall. A garden center. These sort of emails just to re-engage, I think works well. And it's something, there's nothing fancy about this. This is text-based. There's no design. It's a very simple thing. All right, so that's Trash Can Willie. So let's look at this one. Susan Cain, who is the author of a book called Quiet about introverts, and then she has a whole series of stuff about that sort of topic. And again, this is a true we miss you. Do you still want to be on this list sort of email? Hi from Susan Cain, author of Quiet. Please open to stay on my list. Like you can't get any clearer than that. Like it's saying, you know, if you want to stay on my list, you need to open this and take some sort of action. And here's the thing. I was getting her emails. I didn't open them all, but I was like paying attention. It's just sometimes you get so busy. And I did want to stay on her list. So I did open it. So this one actually worked for me. And maybe it didn't work for everyone who received it, but it did for me. So this one is, you know, again, a text-based email reminding me who she is. And here's the little hook. Let's see. I probably should zoom in, right? Bear with me. Hopefully you can see this. And now it's too big. I just wanted to check in with you because I recently discovered that you haven't opened my recent Kindred letter emails. I probably made this too big. Yeah, let's go back down a little bit. I can't figure this out. So let's just go back to 100 and hopefully you can read it. Hopefully you can zoom in if you have to. So now this might be because you don't want to receive the letters, but I've also learned that changes to the world of email sending mean that you may not have received them at all, which is true. Like there have been so many changes with Apple and with Gmail, like a lot of emails go to spam folders, etc. So that's another reason why you want to stay on this. And this is a great example of an email where it's like you have to take a specific action to stay on the list. And that's all I had to do is click it. And I did. I already did this. So I'm not going to do it here. And it kept me on. Now, if I hadn't clicked it, the way this email will work from a backend perspective is anyone who doesn't click it is then automatically removed from the list. And I know that can be scary because here's the reality. The majority of people who receive this email are not going to click through. So you have to be mentally prepared for the numbers to go down, and your clients have to be mentally prepared for the numbers to go down. But the nice thing about it is you will end up with a list that's much more engaged and active. And I think that's better in the long run. So let's close out of this. So I think this one did a good job. Again, nothing fancy at all. but it worked, and it worked for me anyway. Okay, so here's another one. This is a talk about a we miss you email. You can't get any more we miss you than this. We miss you, Robin. There should really be a comma after the you. So personalization works really well in email subject lines. So very smart to put my first name there because that's going to get my attention. It just sounds more personal. Union of Concerned Scientists is an organization that I donated some money to in someone's name because it's an organization that they're into. So that's how that came about, and that got me on their mailing list. So let's actually just look in here. Again, very simple, mostly text-based, just an image at the top. And I like the copy. Like, believe me, I know you get lots of emails from worthy causes and your inbox is full. But we notice that you haven't been opening our emails recently. Are you still with us, Robin? Click here to let me know that you still want to receive them. And again, they give us this call to action here, and they give the call to action here. They repeat it a second time. I'm speaking redundantly, but you get my point. And they also give me an option to see if there's a better way to reach me, like maybe there's a print option or something like that. So I thought this worked well. Like I don't think I clicked it because I'm not like actively involved with this, and I do get so many emails, but I think for someone who, I think this is an effective email. Even though it didn't necessarily work for me, I think it's still effective. I think it probably helped keep some of the people on the list. Actually, you know what? Because I did not stay on it, let me click this so you can see how this works. Because it's okay if I stay on this list, that's fine. So there we go. We got a little that. Let's get that. You've been resubscribed. So see what that does? That keeps me on the list. And then there's a nice little thank you for doing so. Very, very, very simple. And then, you know, I can scroll down if I want to engage more with their content, I can do that. So that's how that works. That's exactly how that works. That's a perfect we miss you email, start to finish in action. All right, so let's get out of this one. And hopefully I didn't just close Outlook. Nope. Okay, so this one was from another organization, a charitable organization. And this one was trying to keep me on by saying, hey, update your subscriber profile, like giving me options for how often I receive stuff like this. So I got one of the emails, did not did not interact with it, and then I got this reminder. So this is a little bit of a different approach. It's kind of makes the reader go, huh, wait a minute, is there something I'm supposed to be doing? Is there an action I'm supposed to be taking? So let's click into this. And again, the message is very similar. Are you getting too many emails? Yes, I think we all are. Take a moment to update your profile. You can let us know what kind of emails you want to receive from us. We'll only send you what you're interested in. So this is another approach. It's like giving me control, which, you know, people like to have control. So there are a certain number of emails, you know, types of emails about different topics that I might want to get. I can tell, I'm pretty sure this is a constant contact email, just has that feel to it. And a lot of your email clients, or emails, marketing solutions, I should say, like a Constant Contact and MailChimp, will have these sort of we miss you re-engagement campaigns baked into their product. It's been a while since I've used their products, but they used to anyway. So it makes it very turnkey to send this sort of email to re-engage your list. So there's an example. Not sure how, I'm curious. I wonder how effective this was for them. I think the we miss you is more effective, but this could be a way, or maybe they've tried it both ways and maybe they've done some testing and they find that this way does work. I don't know. So this was one that I sent a while ago for me. And again, still interested in getting my emails. It's letting people know that, hey, you haven't opened them in a while. So, you know, and here's my preview line. Double checking your interest, no action required if you want out. So it's kind of indicating like, listen, you have to take an action if you want to stay on my list. So if someone opens it, and it was, again, very simple, text-based email. And then if someone wanted to stay on the list, they have control. They have to click that. And you know what? That's why you always want to give people control. I think don't automatically check boxes on forms if you're working on websites or anything like that. Like, always give someone control. Let them do the checking of the box. And I know that there'll be plenty of marketers out there who would disagree with me, but I just think it's kind of crappy when you give people control. If they want to be on your list, they're going to check that box. They'll figure it out. They'll figure out some other way to subscribe. Just automatically opting them in and making them uncheck if they don't want it just is not a cool way to do it. And it might actually violate certain spam laws even now. Who knows? But I always believe in giving people control, regardless of spam laws. It's just a nicer thing to do. You want to give people control. So there you have it. There you have 5 examples of We Miss You emails. And let me know what you think. Did you like some of these? Do you think some are more effective? Have you tried a different type of subject line and had success with that? Let me know in the comments. And if there are other topics you want me to cover here, I'm always happy to know that too. So let me know in the comments and maybe I'll do a future video. But for now, I'm gonna send it back to myself and Stewie. And there you have it. Hopefully you found those examples helpful, inspiring, enlightening, thought-provoking. Okay, I'll stop right now. If you have questions or if you disagree with anything I said, feel free to leave it in the comments. Or if you have an idea for another video, leave that in the comments too, and maybe I will do a future one with Stu-Boo. You never know. In the meantime, I am Robin the Copy Bitch. This is Stewie, my sidekick sloth. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up because that helps us out. If you didn't like it, just move along. And we will see you next time. Bye.